This third misinterpretation is very common and somewhat subtle. It's that a significant test result, so usually when we have a p-value less than 5%, means that the hypothesis is false or should be rejected. No, a small p-value simply flags the data as being unusual if all the assumptions used to compute it, including the test hypothesis, were correct. The p-value may be small because there was a large random error or because some assumptions other than the test hypothesis were violated. So as we said earlier, we have a null hypothesis, we have a bunch of assumptions that we call a statistical model that we use to compute a p-value. And this p-value may be small because we're using an erroneous statistical model. So there's an assumption in the statistical model that doesn't make sense, and we're getting a small p-value. It doesn't mean that our null hypothesis is false or that we should automatically reject it. So for example, if we run a bunch of tests and we only select those that are significant for presentation, sometimes called p-hacking, well, this in a certain sense is a violation of an assumption of the statistical model we're using, right? We're not going to p-hack and try a bunch of different results and only present those that are relevant or significant. This could happen for a null hypothesis that's perfectly true in reality, but we just ended up with a significant result through p-hacking. So if we find a significant result, so p smaller than 5%, this only means that the hypothesis that we would expect, so for example, that there's no difference between treatment groups, would be as large or larger than what we observed, no more than 5% of the time, if only chance were creating the difference, as opposed to the violation of an assumption or the test hypothesis. So I hope these short videos on p-value misinterpretations are interesting to you. As I said earlier, I want to help non-statisticians understand how to interpret correctly these tools that are very widespread and very tricky and very difficult to interpret correctly in many contexts. So if you like this, follow and go check out the other videos I did earlier.